Hi everyone, welcome back. So we just got into the quarantine area.
By the three, this place chills me to the bones. Let's see if we can find my brother and then get out of here.
Okay. Let's see if we can... Okay, so that's one. Nostrum's notes. The first of the afflicted began arriving almost immediately after the quarantine was set up. I don't know how we spread the word so quickly, but people seem to be coming from all over the region for the promised cure. I now have the opportunity to observe the afflicted through all stages of Lodos plague. It begins with a mild fever and random bodily aches and pains. Oddly afflicted suffering this stage of plague has a terrible hunger that cannot seem to be satisfied. This stage of the plague lasts anywhere from 3 to 7 days. The second stage of the plague is marked by a high fever, overall weakness, and appearance of open sores upon the body. Pain grips the afflicted, making most normal activities impossible to perform. During this stage of the plague, the afflicted appetite disappears, and it's a struggle to make them eat and drink a sufficient amount of food and water to maintain their bodily weight. This stage of the plague can range from 7 to 14 days. If the afflicted doesn't throw off the plague during this period, chances of survival drop to almost zero. The third stage of the plague marks the beginning of the end for the afflicted. The open sores now cover most of the afflicted's body, which burns with such heat that the afflicted become delirious and subject to hallucinations. The afflicted then refuse to eat or drink, and any kind of movement results in agony. This stage of the plague is relatively short, lasting from one day in extreme cases to as long as 5 days for those unfortunate enough to hang on. The final stage of the Logos plague is perhaps the most fascinating. Of course, many of the afflicted simply die when the plague has run its course, and the death is extremely painful and heartbreaking to watch, but an increasing number of afflicted don't find it a natural end. These unfortunates transform into seemingly undead creatures that the common folk call plague husks. These creatures appear to be mindless engines of violence, intent on destroying all life they encounter. Can you imagine an army of such creatures? Priceless. Uh-oh. The crates of accelerant will have arrived. Now we can increase the pace of the affliction. Time to treat my patients. Okay, so they're making the mill and now they're making it happen faster. Hello.
I need healing.
Really? Okay. So here's another bottle. Let's grab another bottle. I don't feel bad about killing them. They're making people sick and killing them, so yeah. Hang on, you're... I like the way he runs right through the flames. Okay. So, there was a note around here. Useless, absolutely useless. The curative isn't going to meet our mistress' demanding standards if it simply kills the person who ingests it. If we were trying to create a new poison, then we'd be wildly successful, but that isn't the task at hand. Reduce the amount of dried corpse blood and try again, and watch the temperature in those cauldrons. One of them was dangerously close to boiling over, and I for one have no desire to be drenched in a spray of boiling curative. Okay. These guys I feel sorry for, but not the others. Okay, we've got some purple gloves. May give those a check in a second. Inventory. They're heavy though. I do need to begin switching to lighter armour though. It's okay. Okay, curative. This batch of curative was so close to perfect, unfortunately it has a tad too effective. Really? I was kind of busy reading. That was so rude of you. It was a tad too effective. The afflicted turned into violent thugs far more quickly than we had hoped for at this point in the process. Perhaps this particular mixture will be useful later when we need a quick influx of undead soldiers, but for now this batch won't suffice. An interesting side effect of this version of the curative concerns the level of aggressiveness demonstrated by the newly created husks. They turn immediately violent and consider everything that moves to be an enemy or food. These husks also demonstrated a total disregard for the husks scent we apply when working in close proximity to them. They attack our workers as soon as they saw them, indicating the scent no longer masks us from the husk created with this version of the curative. Let's increase the cooking time by 1 hour and decrease the amount of wolf bile by 25%. Okay. So which way from here? Okay, so we need to go this way.
Tethisa, my brother, what happened to you? By the three, I fear the plague consumes you, brother.
Verona, what are you doing here? It's not safe.
The Maulborn attacked us, and the afflicted are turning into plague husks. Oh, Defeasum, this is dreadful.
The Molborn is spreading the plague. For some reason, they want everyone to become afflicted. They're not healers. They're monsters.
Well, I can't apparently talk to you. Maybe it's because I've got this. That'll do. It doesn't really matter. And we want the Magicka. Commit points. Commit points.
The low-dose plague. I have no idea why. But it's clear to me that the Molborn curative is actually the source of the disease. Whatever they're planning, you have to stop them.
You need a healer.
That's not important. Get my sister out of here and stop the Molborn. Destroy the so-called curative and put an end to that mad woman, Nostrum Breva.
I don't think Arona will leave your side.
Then convince her. I'm too far gone. I don't want to become one of those things and hurt my sister.
Nope, there's still time to try and
Besides,
help you.
She's a Redoran. She has a duty to the Serk and its people.
Nope, there's still time to help you.
You are as hard-headed and stubborn as my sister. Vivek, damn you. Fine. Do what you must. But if the unthinkable occurs, I expect you to stop me before I hurt anyone.
That's a deal.
Defeasum, you swit. We're not leaving without you.
Finally perfection. The latest batch of curatives starts the affliction
I could become a
progress.
plague husk
The
at
plague
any
is
moment.
at a reasonable rate of speed and then turns the afflicted
My
into
decision
plague
is
husks.
final.
70%
Besides, you're
of the
sick, and your
time.
judgment can't be trusted.
Now we have a
I'll get
superior.
us out of here while our friend deals with the Molborn.
Now we have a superior version of the plague and an effective way to dispense it. Of course, handing out curative can be a slow process, especially in larger towns and cities. Before we begin operations in Mournhold, we'll need a faster way to disperse the plague, but that's not my task at this moment. Besides, I'm sure the alchemist Methradil is tackling the problem even as I write these notes. I should also record that I've perfected the husk scent. We can once again walk among the husks without fear of being attacked. I might even have an idea about a soap to remove the scent after we're finished. We'll begin making a larger batches of the curative immediately. In no time at all, we should be able to give everyone at the Serk and in the most immediate vicinity a dosage of the curative. Don't worry, my mistress. Everything will happen just as you have seen. Yeah. So now I want to go this way. Grab another curative.
All right, we're done here. Pack everything up. We need to regroup with the other Molborn cadres and deliver this plague to the rest of Dashar.
You were lucky last time. How many times do I have to remind you? If you're going to work with plague husks, you need to wear the husk scent. I know, it smells terrible, but that's the point. It makes you smell just like the plague husks, and the only way to safely move among the vile creatures. Remember what happened to Kinney? She refused to apply the husk scent too. Complained that it got in her hair and wouldn't come out no matter how many times she washed it. And what did her vanity get her? A plague husk hate her face. Do you want that to happen to you? I certainly don't. Now get your together and remember. Okay. So you're going to ignore us now. Can you... So where is the next step? Next step is over here. Where are you? Okay. We continue to experiment with new strains of the plague, and your work at the Sycamore has proven invaluable. The Magistrix is quite pleased. The Serk has been a good testing ground. Weak and sickly individuals who arrive already inflicted with previous strains beg for a cure. We are more than delighted to welcome them in, giving them false promise of cleansing their illness. Even the House Redden and Hallan are convinced we are here to help. They so want to believe. As for the plague itself, it's become quite potent. Unfortunately, survival rates remain shorter than we had hoped. If we want to continue a true outbreak, one that could level an entire city, we must continue to strengthen the magic and test it. The next step will be to raise the level of experimentation. Word has already come that one of our cadres may have developed the purest form of the sickness yet. I'm eager for the arrival of shipments. A larger town will suffice for the next experiment. I recommend Naris. The Halufals will never suspect a fate. I need to get in touch with my contacts there to let them know to be ready. Okay, did I get an... Okay. So that's a manifesto. Okay. I didn't think I'd got all the portions. Maybe I did. Here we go.
Were you able to acquire any samples of the Molborn curative? I'm really curious to see what the elixir is made of.
Here you go, but I'm pretty sure this elixir won't cure anything.
I've been watching the townsfolk who received the curative and came to the same conclusion. But I'll be able to tell for sure after I analyze the elixir. Take this. It isn't much, but I'm sure you didn't have too much trouble in there. Thanks for your help. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some alchemical wizardry to perform.
You go create your wizardry. And then I'll go see you in a second. So there is a book over here. And we will grab it while we're here. Here we go. Now let's go see Irona.
Glad to see you managed to make it out of the quarantine too. Does that mean those Molborn fetchers have been dealt with?
The Molborn are finished, at least here at the Serk. How's your brother?
Not well. Alchemist Naline fancies herself something of a healer, and she's been working with the Thisum and the other afflicted. Hopefully she'll devise a treatment for them soon.
Is the alchemist making any progress?
Some. She seems confident at least. But what do I know of drafts and elixirs? But tell me, do you think the Molborn pose a threat to the rest of Deshawn?
I'm not sure. It certainly sounds like their plans include more than just the Serk.
That's what I'm thinking as well. But maybe your efforts were enough to put an end to all that. For now at least, the Serk is safe. Take this as a thank you for helping us. The Moleborn have been dealt with, but I could use a little more of your help if you don't mind.
Of course. What do you need?
It's my brother. He's still ill and his condition has taken a turn for the worse. Naline is working to develop some kind of treatment, but she could use your assistance. She can't work at her alchemy table and also gather the components she needs.
What should I do?
Talk to Naline. Let her know I ask you to assist her. She can be a little aloof, but she'll tell you what she needs you to do.
I'll talk to Naline right now. So, where are you? Hang on. Let's get the right quest in place. She's in the house.
Yes? Nice to see you again, but I'm kind of in the middle of something here.
Arona said you need some help.
Did she? Well, I suppose I do. There are a few additives I require, but I can't very well walk away from my table while the Thesum and the rest of the townsfolk need my skills. Even this interruption can prove disastrous where alchemy is concerned.
What additives do you need me to get?
I need Kind's Heart healing herbs, sour milk tea, and dragon scale mushrooms. The innkeeper usually has healing herbs. Grelflan loved sour milk tea, and Sorel Tatus had a taste for exotic mushrooms. You should find what I need in those locations.
Goodbye. I noticed the book, but we'll read it in a minute or two. Let's go here.
It's times like these when I wish I had more help around here. Is there something I can get you?
Any chance you have any Kind's Heart healing herbs?
Well, I might have some around here someplace, but Kind's Heart is very rare and valuable. I can make a fair bit of gold if I hold out for the right price.
Naline needs it to help the Thesium.
What? Why didn't you say so? I owe Dithesa more than I could ever repay. Plus, he's always been a good customer. Please, take this. It's all I have left.
Okay, let's go to the storekeeper. Let's sell stuff while we're here. I'm not doing any crafting at the moment, so there's no point keeping this stuff at the minute. Eventually we will do. Okay, meat, sanded, spider's eye, yeast. Don't need the boar. Okay.
Don't worry, my lord. I'll make sure you get a dose of the curative.
Medium armor. I know I'm killing my armor amounts, but I do need to begin going down to the one-handed. Okay, so let's switch you. We'll switch you in a second. You can be sold. You're better than what I have. Okay, we'll keep that. Get rid of that. Now let's go back into the inventory. Armor. Whip.
Have any beds become My lord is terribly ill and needs to rest.
The situation is the same as it was the last time you inquired. You're welcome to remain here, or feel free to move into the next hall for a hot meal and a cool drink.
72, 13. You're getting low on. You're the lower level. Okay, we'll switch for there, but I'll keep the sword just in case.
I hope Nilene can put those healing herbs to good use.
Uh-huh. So let's go armor. Weapons, that one I want to
Don't
keep.
worry, my lord. I'll make sure you get a dose of the...
Right. You'll speak to this person. You're upstairs, downstairs. Oh dear. And I'm stuck between a chair and a table. Okay. Sour milk. Sounds disgusting. Sour milk tea. Tea is nice, but sour milk? Yeah, not so much. So let's head this way. It's this house here. Okay, you're not quite. And here. Okay, you're a bucket. Your drums. I would need a bucket and drums, okay. In a potted plant. Yep, they hid them in the potted plant. I don't think I saw a bookcase anywhere. Okay. I haven't been looking for them. Isn't good. Should really look for the bookcases. Okay.
Where did you go to get those ingredients? Windhelm? No matter, you're here now. Were you able to acquire everything on my list?
I think so. Here's what you asked for.
Healing herbs, dragon scale mushrooms, sour milk tea. Yes, it's all here. I need to stay here and monitor my patient's condition. Go over to the alchemy table and mix those ingredients together, please.
Goodbye. Lodoss Plague is a complex concoction. I'm not sure I have the skills and experience to totally counteract its properties, but I have an idea on how to suppress and slow the pace of the disease. It will require a number of rare ingredients. An alchemist concoction and okay, so that's saying what it needs. Okay, so that's the instructions on. Adjust the flame 1/4 height. Okay, so let's double check. First I'll need a good amount of Kind's Heart. These healing herbs are prized for their powerful, make them hard to come by and extreme. I'm certain. So we need the Kind's Heart. Then you'll need to bind it all together. Sour tea milk. And finally you'll need to add a touch of magic. Dragon scale. Okay. So Kind's heart. Then sour tea milk. And then dragon scale. Take the completed potion to Naline. Okay. There you go.
You did it? Well done.
Here's the potion you
I
asked me
never
to
doubted you for
make.
an instant. This appears to be perfect. I truly am impressed. Now we'll see what happens and leave the rest in the tribunal's hands.
Goodbye.
Our friend has done well. I'm not sure this will cure the plague, but it should at least slow down its progress. All right, that's it. Visiting time is over. Everyone out and let my patient rest.
You heard the lady. Let's go wait outside.
Okay. He looks a lot better.
Eileen knows what she's doing. Thisum will be fine. You'll see.
I don't know how to thank you. Without your help, the Molborn would have destroyed the Serk.
We did everything we could, and Eileen seems to know what she's doing.
I know. His fate is in the Three's hands now, but he certainly has a fighting chance thanks to you. Here, take this. There's no way I can truly repay you for what you've done for the Serk, but it's a start.
Complete quest. Okay.
I'm happy to say that the suppressant works. It's not a cure, but it should buy me the time I need to find a way to beat the plague.
That's wonderful news. If I wasn't worried about spreading the plague, I'd kiss you right on the lips.
Okay. So we'll finish that one here and continue on with the next part of where we need to go to next time. I will see you all then. Take care and have fun. Bye now.